Hello and welcome to another Stronghold Crusader Mechanics video. This series covers some basic Stronghold mechanics that you may be unaware of or that's just super handy to know in depth. This particular video is going to be all about melee units and how they stack up. So that's going to be great. If you have any questions or have any suggestions on what else I can do a video on, ask me down in the comments below or head along to my Twitch stream. I stream twice a weekend. And you can ask me live. I'm happy to field questions while I'm online. As I said earlier, this video is going to be all about melee units and how they compare. I have been on YouTube and I've seen similar videos. However, the videos that I've found have all been about which unit is best in a 1-to-1 ratio. And I don't think that that is the best comparison. So I'm going to go to the other extreme and I'm going to go for comparing them in a gold value situation. So for example, I'm going to take around about 2,000 gold, plus or minus 50 to 100 depending on the unit, just to get as close to 2,000 as I can. And I want to see which unit is the strongest for its gold value. Now, bear in mind that this is only for melee strength. So a lot of these units may be weak in melee but have higher ranged defense, so they may do better in different situations. Also bear in mind that there are other drawbacks of some of these units. For example, if you have to have more of a unit to use up the gold, for example monks, you're going to use up 200 to get up to 2,000 gold value. That is a lot of peasants you have to spawn and recruit, and so you might be getting more gold than you're spending. In which case, spending more on another unit that's weaker per gold but stronger per person might be more beneficial. That's all up to you. This is just the strongest unit in a melee fight based on gold value alone. Now, there is another thing that we've got to be aware of, is that European units do not just have a gold value, they also have a weapon cost. And so, to integrate that, I'm going to do two tests. One is assuming you're buying all weapons, which means I'm going to add the purchase price of the weapons to the recruitment cost and use that as the cost of the unit. The second scenario for European units is assuming you are making weapons for the units. In this case, I'm actually going to take the sell cost of the weapons. The reason for this is that if you're not going to use them in recruiting your units, you would sell the weapons instead and get the gold to spend on a different unit. So we'll use that as our example. Now that's not the wide range of things, and it's not particularly accurate because, for example, if you're not making spearmen, you may not be making spears, you might be making more bread instead, or there's other things that you might have built instead of the weapons production. However, the most accurate I can get it is going to be the sell cost. It makes it nice and easy, and it's accurate enough for our purposes, I believe. So for my testing, what I have done, you can see on the screen here, I have got a short arena. I've got a few of them for all different tests. Got an arena. I'm going to select one set of units like this. I have the map paused, which you know from the hotkeys video. Is Alt H in the map editor. Just make it easier to control both sides. I am going to select them, make them aggressive, and attack move, which is shift click from the movement types video. So there. Now I'm going to switch over, select the other unit, aggressive stance, shift click to there. Now it is important to note here that macemen actually do less damage against a swordsman than they do against other units. In fact, they do less damage to knights, swordsmen, and European swordsmen. So that is important to note. However, they are still stronger than both than the knights, and as you can see, weaker than the European swordsmen. How does that change if we use the sell price of the weapons? Well, it doesn't change too much, to be honest. The only difference really is that the Arabian swordsman drops down the ranking a few. Now, again, that is not to say that the units that are at the bottom of these rankings are not good. It just means that their primary use is not to be directly in a melee fight. For example, the pikeman has a massive amount of health, and so if you notice when we tested him out, the fight took a lot longer than in the other fight. Having that fight extend out for so long allows you to pump the enemy with a lot more arrows from your ranged units, as opposed to actually just killing them with the pikemen themselves. So bear that in mind. And the knights themselves being the absolute worst unit for gold value, their benefit is being able to get in and get buildings, or snipe some units and get out before fighting too much. The point of the knights is to avoid fighting while doing the most amount of damage, whereas everything else can be caught before they get in and get, say the granary, or get some eco destroyed, or get in and destroy a catapult or something like that before the defending units can catch up with them. That is where their benefit is. Whereas on the other end, at the top end, you've got the monks, and the downside of the monks is, as I said at the start of the video, it requires a lot of workers to get that amount of monks out onto the field, and the same with the slaves. It's just a lot. The main problem I have with these rankings is actually the assassins. I personally do not believe that the assassins should be that high up in the rankings. But that is how things stack up in the current balance. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to rebalance this. At this stage, this is it. We will get into some other, maybe comparing the range units later. If you have any questions about that, or if you want me to film some other tests, or maybe you've done your own tests and you've got some problems with my testing methods, let me know down in the comments, or head along to the stream. Again, I stream every weekend, twice a weekend. And I generally play multiplayer games, so if you're interested in multiplayer, and you're interested in a new type of multiplayer, head along to there and check it out. Hopefully I'll see you then. Catch you all later. All his spears are gone. And he's I can just imagine being these archers going, quick, we gotta get away. These lions, they're chasing us for days.